Hello, and welcome to Nomadic Diaries, the re-entry series. I'm Doreen Cumberford, the host.
And I'm Linda Mueller, the co-host. Hi, my name is Linda Mueller, and I'm here with Doreen Cumberford, and it's Sunday, so we are sharing a bit of inspiration with you. And I think we can find inspiration almost anywhere we look. And one thing, as I was preparing for this, that popped into my head is that I have some songs that remind me of my various relocations, many of which have been repatriations, 6 of them. So I wanted to talk about music. And Doreen, I'll be curious to hear what songs are inspiring to you as well as we go forward. Is there anything you want to jump in and say before?
I'm just really excited about this topic. I think music is naturally very inspiring, and I notice how I lean on it when I'm in a new place. Every time I go someplace, I want to find something about the music that I like, and that's not always possible. I know that it is a great source of inspiration to me, and I do have headphones that I listen to certain music at night before I go to sleep.
I love it. Yes. Some of my best memories from different places I've lived are concerts that I've been to, but that's a whole nother episode that we can talk about. So there's a couple songs that word for word, they don't necessarily describe my experience, but for some reason they get stuck in my head on autoplay whenever I know we're going to be going somewhere, especially repatriating. So the first one is, I think it's just called Jet Plane. Is it John Denver?
I'm leaving on a jet plane.
Yeah, leaving on a jet plane, maybe.
Oh, yes, yes.
And my gift to the audience, to the listeners, is that I am not going to try to sing any of these songs to you. But the line, because I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again.
Yeah.
Just saying goodbye to people, either because I'm moving abroad or I'm repatriating, that song just drums up all kinds of emotion for me, because you don't know when you'll be back again a lot of times. And I've been lucky because, well, a lot of our repatriations have been somewhat unexpected. So we literally have had a reason to go back as a family to the 3 countries that we have left within the first year. And I know that's not typical, and it's a bit of a luxury, but it has really helped me with my repatriations, because the first time I could say to people, I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Then when I was leaving from the visit, most of the time it was a little bit more unknown, but the heaviness of the actual repatriation wasn't there. So it was easier to say that goodbye, especially when we left Abu Dhabi, because we have had friends there that now live in Australia or South Africa, and I know my chances of seeing them are pretty slim. So there's that song.
That's great. And I think it's really important. I always think of it as sewing your life together. You know, I have to pull the thread through, and I have to go back to a place in order to go forward. I have to go back, and then I have to go forward. And that is really the act of sewing. Mm-hmm. But I think that's really cool. So what other songs?
So I have another song that is about a bar closing, but there's some lines in it. So it's Closing Time by, is it Semisonic? I think that's a Semisonic song. So basically the lines are: closing time, open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time, time for you to go out to the places you will be from. And the last line is: closing time, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Mm-hmm. And those lines in the song just speak to my heart of, all of the comings and the goings, the farewells to people, places, and things. And also to myself, because I feel like I've been a different person in each phase or location that I've lived in, just because we are all impacted by our surroundings and who's around us, and so many different things, that I do leave a little bit of myself in each place that I leave.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very sentimental right now.
I understand that. And music does make me cry. We should have put music on the back of this. Maybe we can put some fun music on either side of this.
That would be good for sure.
Yeah,
Well, and
yeah.
then the last one is just a song that came out in 2013. So it was as we were in the process of moving to Abu Dhabi, and then unexpectedly, a year and a half later, not even a year and a half later, we moved to London. And then we chose to move back to Chicago 2 years later when we thought we were going to be in London for, I don't know, 5 or 7 years. And
Mm,
it's not a really happy song, but the line that always plays in my head is, "So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm
mm,
wiser and I'm older. All
mhm.
this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost." And I just think for those of us that live globally mobile lives, that says so much.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think the artist is Avicii, is the artist who sings that song.
Mhm.
So, wow, I didn't expect to get so emotional, or I don't know if that's the right word, but I definitely am feeling that these songs, while they're not necessarily all uplifting songs, they are comforting to me because every time they've played in my head, I've just thought to myself, I've done this before, I can do it again, and I'll always find my way. And that's what inspires me by these songs.
I have sort of a strange experience, and that is one of when I this is not exactly repatriation, but I married a fellow in the Middle East about 3 months after we were married. There was a big change in our lives. I did not expect to return to the United States within 90 days, but that's indeed what happened, and initiated by his job, not mine.
Wow.
I was a single professional girl when I went there. So I was moving to Louisiana, and the songs that year in 1981 by the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees were the ones. And every time I hear the Bee Gees, oh, it's kind of like a sword in my heart because one of them was Happy Ever After. Well,
Oh,
that
wow.
didn't happen because our marriage fell apart, partly because of repatriation, which is one of the reasons I am sitting here talking to you today. And another one of the songs that year that was very popular by the Bee Gees was For Whom the Bell Tolls. Another one is This Is Where I Came From.
Wow.
And when I arrived to the US, I had lived in the UK, of course, and then worked in London, which was almost like an expat assignment, and then overseas in Africa before I went to Dubai and met this fellow. And oh, when I hear those anything by the Bee Gees, it just strikes a chord. I mean, it just hits all of that neuropsychiatry and psychology in my head, and all those feelings flood my body. Even now, and I feel I don't feel uncomfortable. I just feel like, wow, music is really powerful. I need to pay attention to this stuff.
Right. Wow, that's quite a story. Thank you for sharing that, Doreen. It's very
It's the first time
personal.
I'm the first time I've ever shared that.
Well, I think there's so many songs. I would love to hear from listeners what songs make them think of repatriation. I know you and I have talked offline about different songs that we've
Yes.
pulled together that we thought we might want to share with the listeners. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in the show notes. Be a
Yeah,
fun resource.
we have a list like Homeward Bound, Simon and Garfunkel, Home by Philip Phillips, Take Me Home by Sacco, Everything Changes, Gina Chavez, and let me see, Wake Me Up, Avicii, and Coming Home by the Kaiser Chiefs, and Michael Bublé's Home. Oh my God. I mean,
Well, we have a few songs in other languages too, because I
we
asked a
do,
few
we
of the
do.
international women in Chicago. So we have one in Mandarin, we have one in Spanish, Brazilian, Portuguese, Korean. I mean, we've got quite the mix of songs. So
This is going
I
to be
think
quite
it could be really
interesting
fun.
to create the show notes for this.
Right. So send us your recommendations as well, everyone, because we can just grow the list.
Yeah, that would be a great project to do. We invite you to participate with us in growing the list.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you for this.
likewise, well, thanks for sharing, and thank you everyone for being here. And is there anything you wanted to close with, Doreen?
No, just that this is Repatriation Diaries, and we are here to inform, impact, and inspire your repatriation or your move home in order that you have better sense of performance and joy in the process.
Sayonara.
Hasta luego.